Hey guys. So today I think we're gonna jump right into it. Boom. Here. Today I finally got that depression video out of the way, and now I've been, that accidental Facebook check. I've been thinking heavily about it. It's basically like an argument I was having with the public, with myself, and I recently was listening to Simon Sinek with my wife. I think that's how you say his name. I don't know. My wife was playing it. I was listening with it, and there were some things that really got my mind going that I want to talk about. And yeah, one of the major thing is I was thinking about how I was talking about stuff going on in my life, and then people were slowly ignoring me and getting frustrated with me, and people were giving me advice, and people were trying to help, and I was alienating myself, and it was very frustrating. And there were some things that people said to me that it was very confusing. Like it was one of those things where you have to look at it and be like, is it what am I missing that other people see that I'm not seeing? And recently I've been having some pretty interesting revelations on what that was. And one of the things, and what you're going to see the title of this video, and it's going to be knowledge versus capital. And it's very interesting because I was reading some of the stuff I was saying and thinking about some of the conversations I was having. And it's going to be about 9 years this year since I originally got cyberbullied. And I was thinking about what happened. And there was some stuff that happened before that. And it always made sense to me because I'm living a linear timeline. I've been with me since the beginning, and I've seen how things have developed the ways that they have developed. But other people, they meet you now, like you might just be meeting me now. And what do you know? All you know is what I tell you or what you hear about me. And or just what you may perceive from how I present myself. Maybe my art, maybe how I draw, maybe how I talk to people, the words I use, the dialect I use, and your own knowledge based upon those things. And that can be very different from reality, or my reality, And one of the things I was thinking about is how most of my life I've been told what I have, and what I have is knowledge. And it's weird because, you grow up and you hear knowledge is power and all this stuff. And it's true. I mean, a really smart person can make do with little resources. And I guess that's what they're saying about me. And in a way, I can agree with that. But in another way, I understand capitalism and business to understand that, if you don't have capital, it doesn't matter how smart you are. You're going to have to figure out a way to make capital to even get started, So there's these other obstacles that could be, that may seem basic to somebody, but sometimes it's not that basic because you got to do. I mean, I don't even know, but it's the thing I've been thinking about is like the difference in how some of my friends would treat me and react to me, and but then I would look, and it would be like if you like wrote down, our financial capabilities, our addresses, like a lot of times these people would be like dwarfing me in so many ways, and resources and access and different things like that. But they would still feel like intimidated by me. And it's hard to grasp with intimidating someone, because intimidation isn't always like you think it would be. Like you think, I mean, on the most basic nature, you think if someone's intimidated by you, you're like, oh, I'm a big, scary, you're intimidated. You're scared of me. You're going to be like, ah. But that's not all the way intimidation comes out. People will lash out at you. I've been fired for, I guess, what I didn't realize was my boss was intimidated by me. But if they'd have known I didn't care about that job, I do art. That's all I've ever cared about. So sometimes I'd be in these situations and not even realize how this intimidation factor was happening, and yeah, that's it's something that I have had to deal with, and I'm slowly feel like I'm just now being able to grasp. And it was something Simon Sinek was talking about being the boss and not being able to be. I think he was talking about CEOs and saying that CEOs have a boss that they answer to, and so everyone above them they answer to, and then everyone below them works for them because they're the CEO of the company. They're like the face of the company. So it's like a weird position where you don't have a lot of friends because of the responsibility that's involved, and the hierarchy that's I created, and I don't know. It was using a lot of corporate stuff. I'm not very, but I could relate to it as having to be the boss of my own business and having to, like, today I'm like, I need to paint some stuff. I need to draw some stuff. I need to make a video. I need to edit a video. I need to post. I need to do this, and like trying to organize all the stuff. And then having my company not really have been successful yet because I started when I was homeless. I started drawing when I was homeless, so like it was like I had no capital. But even then, people would treat me like I had some kind of special privilege or advantage. And I mean, in a way, I did, because I am, man, it's so icky to say. It's like, I'm smart, like Norm Macdonald has a great line that I love. He says, no one likes a smart aleck. No one likes a know-it-all, and everyone likes, a guy. So, he plays the dumb guy or whatever. Everyone likes that. So, and I've often been that way. I mean, there was a period where I had a nickname Brannon, and I kind of leaned into that. I was kind of smart but dumb, but I thought it came across uniformly, but it didn't, and it caused some issues. And it was another thing. Like, it's in this position where I'm trying to be a public personality, and I say that only in like the way that's kind of the way social media works, and I'm doing art, and it feels like that's a way I could self-promote myself. So that's what I'm investing my time and work into, making videos, talking to you guys, and explaining stuff. And maybe it'll pay off, maybe it won't. But when I was real depressed and I thought I was talking to my friends, because Facebook said these are all my friends, and I actually knew most of those people personally, it was very interesting how people just didn't care. And then I kind of realized it's because, they're all suffering too. And I had this one idea called greater than equals one time, and I ended up not doing anything with it. But the idea was basically based on that, if everyone is treating you like an equal, and they're wrapped up in how bad their life has been and how bad things have happened to them, that's what they're going to treat. That's how they're going to treat you equal. It's by doing bad stuff to you to make it even or whatever. I mean, yeah, it just, so if you want to make the world a better place, you got to treat people better than you've been treated. To like the pay it forward thing. I mean, the pay it forward's a great idea. But anyway, yeah, I've been thinking about this being smart and being perceived that way. And I mean, sometimes it's not like I'm going around like I was, what I was focused on was how I was homeless and I needed to work harder and try harder. And because as who cares that you've been homeless since you were a teenager? All they're going to see is that you're an adult. And that's how I looked at it. And that's what's kind of driven me is that, knowing that, I mean, this is terrible and it sounds really sad, but just knowing that no one cares. Look, I'm an adult. I'm way an adult now. I can't even pretend like I'm a kid. Look at this. I can't even pretend. So all these gray hairs, it was like I'm an adult. I have to. If I can't make it, it's not anyone's responsibility. It's my own responsibility, and that doesn't really work without capital. Like without support. I mean, you see these YouTube channels have to cancel all the time. I'm riding on hope right now. I'm riding on hope and desire, and but some of these companies, once and I've started filing taxes, so there's like a timeline that supposedly you can't keep doing it if your business doesn't make enough money in so many years. You have to do something. I don't know. I don't even know enough about it. But it's like, because I need and I need support from people. I got a list at the end of the show. It shows you the people that support me, and that's that's the only people who support me now. You could support me. I would love it if you supported me on Patreon. And that's the goal, is to one day. But yeah, it's so. I mean, you're seeing the stress on my face in real time because I'm like talking about it and realizing how stressful it all is, and it's hitting me, and I try not to think about it. It's best when I'm working and stuff, and this is working and talking about it, but it's helping me grow because I can't be mad at, I've been thinking about some of those people that were arguing with me and were mad at me. My life's changed a lot in good and bad ways since then, and it's their life is exactly the same, like exactly like it had, like not one thing's different. It's crazy. And so in a way, I guess I see what they were saying, even though I didn't agree, because at the time I was hurting. I had a lady that she told me she'd help me be unhomeless, but she'd never give me money. I mean, in a way, she did help me be unhomeless, but at the time, I was, living by blind faith or something. I don't even know. It's hard to explain, but it's like when you're being treated these ways, it's very lonely and alienating. And then to listen to the Simon Sinek guy talk about it actually made me not feel so lonely, because it was like I'm listening, when your friends and stuff aren't, agreeing with you or listening to you or giving you bad advice, and, you still have to go get those answers on your own. You can't ignore the problem, and maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. I don't want to make any assumptions about them. I just know that it is very interesting how people treated me, and how I feel about it now. I feel it's helping me grow to acknowledge that what it is that people saw me differently than what my bank account said. Like if one of these millionaires is, bankrupt, we can't really fathom them actually being bankrupt, because we're like, oh, well, they had $1 million. It's just these excuses we make to allow ourselves to create monsters so that we can vilify people. And that's how I felt. I felt vilified for knowing things but still being poor. And that's what I got. That's what I wanted to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed the drawings. We're here at the end. Thank you guys. especially the guys that support. Thank you guys for watching. Click that like button, comment, share, do all the things, help support me so that, so I can actually be what people think I am. Make me rich. Yeah, anyway. Oh man, I got a terrible sense of humor. Maybe that's the problem. But anyway, thanks guys. See you next time.